From the Holy Trinity Church in Inwood, New York City, welcome to Inwood Artworks On Air. It's where I meet the musicians, filmmakers, writers, theater makers, and artists of all stripes who make their home what we affectionately call upstate Manhattan. This podcast is dedicated to showcasing the musicians of Upper Manhattan. I'm your host, Aaron Sims, and this is a special concert edition of Live and Local featuring Big Tent and a rare concert performance. Big Tent features the trio of Jerome Kitzke, Steve Rust, and Harvey Sorgen. This concert of beat poetry and jazz improvisation was recorded live here at Holy Trinity Church on April 5th, 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, Big Tent on Inwood Artworks On Air.
Hey, thanks for being here. We're going to do this in one fell swoop. So we start with some Allen Ginsberg from 1968. We end with some Walt Whitman from 1891. With a lot of Ferlinghetti from the 50s in between and some Sara Teasdale from World War I era. So that's the news we're going to play, and then we'll be done. Kiss ass is the part of peace. America will have to kiss ass Mother Earth. Whites will have to kiss ass dark-skinned immigrants for peace and pleasure. Only pathway to peace, kiss ass!
Is a beautiful place to be born into. If you don't mind happiness not always being so very much fun. If you don't mind a touch of hell now and then, just when everything is fine. Because even in heaven, they don't sing all the time. The world is a beautiful place to be born into. If you don't mind some people dying all the time, or maybe only starving some of the time, which isn't half so bad if it isn't you. Oh, the world is a beautiful place to be born into. If you don't much mind a few dead minds in the higher places, or a bomb or two now and then in your upturned faces, or such other improprieties as our name brand society is prey to. with its men of distinction and its men of extinction and its priests and other patrolmen and its various segregations and congressional investigations and other constipations that our fool flesh is heir to. Yes, the world is the best place of all for a lot of such things as making the fun scene, and making the love scene, and making the sad scene, and singing low songs and having inspirations, and walking around looking at everything and smelling flowers and goosing statues and even thinking and kissing people and making babies and wearing pants and waving hats and dancing and going swimming in rivers on picnics in the middle of the summer and just generally living it up. Yes, but then, right in the middle of it, comes the smiling mortician.
The weight of the world is love. Under the burden of solitude, under the burden of dissatisfaction, the weight we carry is love. Who can deny in dreams it touches the body? In thought constructs a miracle, in imagination anguishes till born inhuman. Looks out of the heart burning with purity, for the burden of life is love. But we carry the weight wearily, and so must rest in the arms of love at last. Must rest in the arms of love. No rest without love, no sleep without dreams of love. Be mad or chill, obsessed with angels or machines, the final wish is love. Cannot be bitter, cannot deny, cannot withhold if denied. The weight is too heavy. Must give for no return, as thought is given in solitude in all the excellence of its excess. The warm bodies shine together in the darkness. The hand moves to the center of the flesh. The skin trembles in happiness, and the soul comes joyful to the eye. Yes, yes. That's what I wanted. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I always wanted. Oh, oh. I always wanted to return to the body where I was born. I am waiting for my case to come up. And I am waiting for a rebirth of wonder. And I am waiting for someone to really discover America and wail. And I am waiting for the discovery of a new symbolic Western frontier. And I am waiting for the American eagle to really spread its wings and straighten up and fly right. And I am waiting for the age of anxiety to drop dead. And I am waiting for the war to be fought, which will make the world safe for anarchy. And I am waiting for the final withering away of all governments. And I am perpetually awaiting a rebirth of wonder. I am waiting for the second coming, and I am waiting for a religious revival to sweep through the state of Arizona. And I am waiting for the grapes of wrath to be stored. And I am waiting for them to prove that God is really American. And I am seriously waiting for Billy Graham and Elvis Presley to exchange roles seriously. And I am waiting to see God on television, piped onto church altars, if only they can find the right channel to tune in on. And I am waiting for the Last Supper to be served again with a strange new appetizer. And I am perpetually awaiting a rebirth of wonder. I am waiting for my number to be called, and I am waiting for the living end, and I'm waiting for Dad to come home, his pockets full of irradiated silver dollars, and I am waiting for the atomic test to end, and I am waiting happily for things to get much worse before they improve, and I am waiting for the Salvation Army to take over, and I am waiting for the human crowd to wander off a cliff somewhere, clutching its atomic umbrella, and I am waiting for Ike to act, and I am waiting for the meek to be blessed and inherit the earth without taxes, and I am waiting for forests and animals to reclaim the earth as theirs, and I am waiting for a way to be devised to destroy all nationalisms without killing anybody. And I am waiting for linnets and planets to fall like rain, and I am waiting for lovers and weepers to lie down together again in a new rebirth of wonder. I am waiting for the great divide to be crossed, and I am anxiously waiting for the secret of eternal life to be discovered by an obscure general practitioner and save me forever from certain death. And I am waiting for life to begin, and I am waiting for the storms of life to be over. And I am waiting to set sail for happiness. And I am waiting for a reconstructed Mayflower to reach America, with its picture story and TV rights sold in advance to the natives. And I am waiting for the lost music to sound again in the lost continent in a new rebirth of wonder. I am waiting for the day that maketh all things clear. And I'm waiting for Old Man River to just stop rolling along past the country club. And I am waiting for the deepest South to just stop reconstructing itself in its own image. And I am waiting for a sweet, desegregated chariot to swing low and carry me back to Old Virginia. And I'm waiting for Old Virginia to discover just why darkies are born. And I'm waiting for God to look out from Lookout Mountain and see the ode to the Confederate dead as a real farce. And I am waiting retribution for what America did to Tom Sawyer. And I am perpetually awaiting a rebirth of wonder. I am waiting for Tom Swift to grow up And I am waiting for the American boy to take off Beauty's clothes and get on top of her. Ooh, I am waiting for Alice in Wonderland to retransmit to me her total dream of innocence. And I am waiting for child Roland to come to the final darkest tower. And I am waiting for Aphrodite to grow live arms at a final disarmament conference in a new rebirth of wonder. I am waiting to get some intimations of immortality by recollecting my early childhood. And I am waiting for the green mornings to come again. Youth's dumb green fields come back again. And I am waiting for some strains of unpremeditated art to shake my typewriter. And I am waiting to write the great indelible poem. And I am waiting for the last long, careless rapture. And I am perpetually waiting for the fleeing lovers on the Grecian urn to catch each other up at last and embrace. And I am waiting perpetually and forever a renaissance of wonder. There will come soft rains, and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire. And not one will know of the war. Not one will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. The dog trots freely in the street and sees his reality, and the things he sees are bigger than himself, and the things he sees are his reality. Drunks in doorways, moons on trees. Ow! The dog trots freely through the street, and the things he sees are smaller than himself. Fish on newsprint, ants in holes, chickens in Chinatown windows, their heads a block away. Whoa! The dog trots freely in the street, and the things he smells something like himself. The dog trots freely in the street, past puddles and babies, cats and cigars, pool rooms and policemen. He doesn't hate cops, he merely has no use for them. And he goes past them, and past the dead cows hung up whole in front of the San Francisco meat market. He would rather eat a tender cow than a tough policeman, though either might do. Wow! And he goes past the Romeo Ravioli Factory, and past Coit's Tower, and past Congressman Doyle. He's afraid of Coit's Tower, but he's not afraid of Congressman Doyle. Oh, although what he hears is very discouraging, very depressing to a sad dog like himself. No! To a serious dog like himself. Ow, ow! But he has his own free world to live in, his own fleas to eat. He will not be muzzled. Congressman Doyle is just another fire hydrant to him. Whoa! The dog trots freely in the street and has his own dog's life to live, to think about and to reflect upon, touching and tasting and testing everything, investigating everything without benefit of perjury. A real realist with a real tale to tell, and a real tale to tell it with. a real live, barking democratic dog, engaged in real free enterprise with something to say about ontology, something to say about reality, and how to see it and how to hear it, with his head cocked sideways at street corners as if he is just about to have his picture taken for Victor Records, listening for his master's voice and looking like a living question mark into the great gramophone of puzzling existence, with its wondrous hollow horn, which always seems just about to spout forth some victorious answer to everything. Sometime during eternity, some guys show up, and one of them, who shows up real late, is a kind of carpenter from some square-type place like Galilee. And he starts wailing and claiming he is hip to who made heaven and earth, and that the cat who really laid it on us is his dad. And moreover, he adds, it's all written down on some scroll-type parchments, which some henchmen leave lying around the Dead Sea somewheres a long time ago, and which you won't even find for a couple of thousand years or so, or at least for 1947 of them, to be exact. And even then, nobody really believes them, or me, for that matter. You are hot, they tell him, and they cool him. They stretch him on the tree to cool. And everybody after that is always making models of this tree with him hung up and always crooning his name and calling him to come down and sit in on their combo as if he is the king cat who's got to blow or they can't quite make it. Only he don't come down from his tree. Him just hang there on his tree looking real petered out and real cool. And also, according to a roundup of late world news from the usual unreliable sources, real dead. Holy, 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 holy. The world is holy, the soul is holy, the skin is holy, the nose is holy, the tongue and cock and hand and asshole holy. Everything is holy, everybody's holy, everywhere is holy, every day is an eternity, every man's an angel, the bomb is as holy as the seraphim, the madman is holy as you, my soul, are holy. The typewriter is holy, the poem is holy, the voice is holy, the hearers are holy, the ecstasy is holy. Holy Peter, Holy Allen, Holy Solomon, Holy Luchin, Holy Kerouac, Holy Hunky, Holy Burroughs, Holy Cassidy, Holy the unknown buggered and suffering beggars, Holy the human hideous angels, Holy my mothers in the insane asylum, Holy the cocks of the grandfathers of Kansas, Holy the groaning saxophone, Holy the Bach apocalypse, Holy the jazz band, marijuana, hipsters, peace and junk and drones. Holy the solitudes of skyscrapers and pavements. Holy the cafeterias filled with the millions. Holy the mysterious rivers of tears under the streets. Holy the lone juggernaut. Holy the vast lamb of the middle class. Holy the crazy shepherds of rebellion. Who digs Los Angeles is Los Angeles. Holy New York, Holy San Francisco, Holy Peoria and Seattle, Holy Paris, Holy Tangiers, Holy Moscow, Holy Istanbul. Holy time in eternity, Holy eternity in time. Holy the clocks in space. Holy the fourth dimension. Holy the fifth international. Holy the angel in Moloch. Holy the sea. Holy the desert. Holy the railroad. Holy the locomotive. Holy the visions. Holy the hallucinations. Holy the miracles. Holy the eyeball. Holy the abyss. Holy forgiveness, mercy, charity, faith, holy, ours, bodies, suffering, magnanimity. Holy the supernatural, extra, brilliant, intelligent kindness of the soul. This is thy hour, O soul, thy free flight into the wordless, away from books, away from art. The day erased, the lesson done. Thee fully forth emerging, silent, gazing, pondering the themes thou lovest best. Night, sleep, death, and the stars. Harvey Sorgen on drums. Steve Rust on basses. I'm Jerome Kitzke on piano and words. Thank you. We're going to do one more. Pretty poem called Negroes in Whiting, Indiana. It's by James Hazard, a Midwestern poet who wrote exclusively of the Midwest. He's been gone for about 13 years now. He's one of my dearest and best friends. He wrote a lot of poems, this and this and this, in Whiting, Indiana. Flag etiquette in Whiting, Indiana. Life is rich. You get it. No, classes help. I heard my uncle downstairs the night he smashed a Glenn Miller record so as not to hear it anymore, that he wanted to marry Billie Holiday. I heard the little shrieks and giggles. Saturday nights were party nights for grown-ups, and kids stayed upstairs listening. Louis Jordan and his Timpani Five. Fats Waller played Harlem Stride. Billie Holiday, who the grown-ups got to see in Chicago live. Louis Armstrong, whose band had one white man, Jack Teagarden. And when Glenn Miller's record was busted, Frankie Newton played The World is Waiting for the Sunrise. During the war, my cousin Billie, who was an army nurse in France, hitchhiked a plane ride home from the front on a weekend pass. She had armloads of absinthe and GI records of Duke Ellington, and the party went 2 days and nights till she flew back to report to the war in time. Kansas City, Storyville, Harlem most of all, Chicago's South Side, all the dark cities instructing the downstairs, my family moving and even talking to that music, and it coming upstairs to the children too. Gene Krupa's band had Roy Eldridge, and they made that record with Anita O'Day, Let Me Off Uptown. A black man and a white woman? They played that one downstairs too. Some guys wrote girls' names on their notebooks at school. I wrote Louis Armstrong and Hot Lips Page and wished my uncle really did marry Billie Holiday. My father took me to see Satchel Paige pitch his first start in the majors. It was SRO at Chicago's Comiskey Park, and we had box seats. My dad said if they didn't have white shirts, we couldn't see anyone in the ballpark. It was a night game, get it? We may be the only white people here, he said, and the same on the streetcar home, too. That was a new one on us from Whiting, Indiana, where the law was till after the war. No Negroes on the street after dark without permission in writing. Were we scared? A little, but mostly listening to the talk up tempo because Satchel beat the White Sox. I felt I'd got downstairs to the party the first time in my life. Thank you. Harvey Sorgen, please
What an exceptional performance by Big Tent. Very rare to get them all in the same room, and I'm very glad we did. I want to thank them again for their wonderful performance, and thanks again to all those who came out from the Inwood community to experience this concert firsthand, and to you for tuning in right now. If you like what you heard, and how could you not, please share this podcast with your friends and let them witness firsthand the talent of this fantastic community here in Inwood. And please join us now, if you wouldn't, and rate this podcast 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to check out all of our upcoming concerts at inwoodartworks.nyc. This concludes a special Live in the Whole Concert episode of Inwood Artworks On Air. Once again, many thanks to Holy Trinity here for hosting us, and to HeightSites.com for uptown promotional support. You can support On Air and all of our programming making a tax-free donation at inwoodartworks.nyc/donate, or donate via Venmo at Inwood Artworks. Follow us on social media to keep up all that we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, Filmworks Al Fresco, pop-up art galleries, and live performances, and so much more. Inwood Artworks On Air is proud to be supported in part by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. And Inwood Artworks programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature. From the top of Manhattan and the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Aaron Sims for Inwood Artworks On Air.